In today's video, we're going to go through the Jiffy Lube franchise, see if it's going to grow into 2023, despite the kind of long payback period. So for those that aren't familiar with Jiffy Lube is an automotive oil change company that was founded in 1971. Since 2002, though, it's been a subsidiary of Shell, a publicly traded company. It is currently led by W. James Hinman, the CEO. As of 2021, they have over 200 locations in operations. The US has the largest car industry in the world. Auto manufacturing deeply depends on thousands of suppliers, materials, retail, and vehicle maintenance. Maintenance like Jiffy Lube franchisees provide. The initial franchise fee for Jiffy Lube is $35,000. Last we checked, they waived the fee, or at least provide significant discounts for US veterans. The range to open one up is going to set you back $232,000 up to $442,000. You do need liquid assets of at least $250,000. This does not include the real estate. So if you want to buy the real estate and build a Jiffy Lube from the ground up, that's going to be a significantly higher investment. Royalty fee, 5%, marketing 1.5%, and then local marketing 2.5% of gross sales. They do have a discount on royalties of 4% if paid before the due date. So that's a pretty nice discount on your royalties if you're ahead of it. The average franchise sales, or I should say median franchise sales, was $542,000 in 2021. So you invested $337,000, you're doing a profit margin of 15%. You could be making $81,000 a year. So payback period in about 5-6 years. When you go to sell a Jiffy Lube based on a median multiple of 0.5 on net sales, and say averaging the sales of 2021 and 2020, $511,000, it would sell for about $250,000. So that's less than the initial midpoint investment of $337,000. So dumbing it down, it would cost you $337,000 to open, but if you want to sell 5 years later, you could probably only sell for $250,000. So there's a loss when you go to sell a Jiffy Lube of $80,000, unless you bought an existing Jiffy Lube. And for Jiffy Lube, we don't recommend you do a ground up construction unless you're making a lot of money on the real estate side and then selling it to a real estate investment trust. It probably makes a lot more sense just buying an existing Jiffy Lube and don't have to find the location, build it out, get the permits, have local brand recognition. Easier to just come into an existing franchise like Jiffy Lube and buy one that's up and running. As I mentioned, they're owned by Shell, very profitable business with retained earnings of $1.9 billion in Q1 of 2022. So annualized, we're talking about billions of dollars that they're making a year. Obviously, with gas prices, it's been pretty good for Shell in recent history. Total outlets for Jiffy Lube, 2019 started 1917. And then in 2021, they ended 2021 with 2,006 locations. They've had net growth even throughout the pandemic, so pretty good. They just have 55 corporate locations. They did have higher net growth on the corporate compared to franchising. Might need to track their strategy. I don't know if they're going to go the path of like a H&R Block where they are really just focused on corporate locations and let the franchisees trickle down. Something to consider when you talk to Jiffy Lube as well as franchisees of Jiffy Lube during the vetting process. And then, even with the introduction, rise in popularity of electric cars, most probable, at least for the next 10, 15 years, that there's going to be a strong demand, but we don't know all that much going forward, especially as some states really are creating requirements that people buy electric. There are a lot of new oil change competitors too that are popping up and can even set up in parking lots. So stay attuned to that. Do your due diligence, talk to existing franchisees of Jiffy Lube. And again, maybe look at a resale opportunity is probably going to be a much faster way to get your return on capital if you're looking to invest in a Jiffy Lube franchise.